Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is The Traitors, Season 4, Episode 3, Show Me Your Faces.
Show me your faces. Show me your Bracketology faces. We got quite an update at the end of the episode, so stay tuned for that. We have the leaderboard update based on week 1, since all 3 of these episodes dropped on the same night.
That was really hard.
Very, very difficult to try to make these decisions without even knowing who the traitors were.
Right. We're going in with zero information and then ending up with the amount of people who leave after 3 episodes.
So, good on you. More power to you. Good job with the picking. We've got the results for that, so stay tuned after the episode.
All right, so we start off, and it's breakfast after the murder.
Murder in plain sight.
Yes, thank you. My brain stalled out.
Murder.
I was thinking
the murder in the library.
Because this is crazy. We're going from a murder in plain sight to a murder face-to-face by the end of the episode.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like we're on the Traitors fast track.
This, like the greatest hits.
Yes.
Everything's up front for all these different things. So if you're not familiar with the Traitors lore or the gameplay, I don't think we fully explained the entire game either. So just to round this out, right, by episode 3, the whole point of the game is to finish the game with other people in the group. You want it to all be faithfuls. If it's all faithfuls, then they split the prize money pot at the end of it. If there's a traitor or traitors amongst them at the end of the game, then the traitors are the ones who take the money. And if there's multiple traitors, then they split the money amongst the traitors. So just a heads up on that.
We forgot to explain the most important part of the game.
That's the general principle of the game. I mean, here's what we're doing. We're explaining things as you need to know them. So once we get to those end stages, we'll really get into the details of it. But the whole point is you're trying to weed out who the traitors are. You're trying to find faithfuls to finish the game with.
So Colt and Caroline and Jam Jam are the first ones in to breakfast. And they're starting to chit-chat a little bit about what they think is suspicious. And the Roundtable just gave them weird vibes last night, especially when they felt like Michael was defending Donna. And people are already suspicious of Michael.
Well, it was weird because the way that, we were saying, it was kind of ending up where it was going to be Donna or Portia. And then Michael just bulldozed in at the end and confused everybody. So that's what people were like, was that a traitor play? Was that a traitor protecting another traitor? So they're very confused about what the reasoning was behind that. But I think it's just Michael Rappaport's a loose cannon. He's a wild card. Mm-hmm. He's just firing from the hip because he doesn't know what's going on.
And he thinks that he has to voice whatever his opinion is.
Yes.
Even though in this game, there's a time and a place to speak up.
There's a lot of times where it's better to just not say anything.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Sometimes you see that there's a consensus, especially early in the game. You just go with the group because if you make waves, you're going to get accused of being a traitor.
Exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
And if you're not a traitor, then you're going to be accused of protecting a traitor potentially here. So they're still not sure what the deal was with that play. It seemed fishy, but then also there's suspicion on Ron too, because Ron came in with this whole laid out evidence-based theory about Portia being a traitor, and that threw everybody for a loop. Everybody was planning to go for Donna. They weren't planning to make a decision between somebody else who could very well be a traitor. And so then Ron kind of blew that up and made people uncomfortable, where now they have to think, oh no, could it be someone that I haven't even given any thought to? Because I only had eyes on Donna for that.
And he persuaded them to vote for Portia instead.
So that happened. And then when Portia stands up there and she says, I'm a faithful, then everybody who was going to vote for Donna is very upset now.
What would you do if you were a traitor this early in the game and another traitor came up at the Roundtable?
At this point, it's too early to go way out of your way to be defending people.
I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, as a traitor, you can't, unless somebody asks you directly about your opinion of what's going on, but it's too early to throw a traitor under the bus. And then it's too early to go out of your way to defend any traitors too. So it just kind of, you got to steer the group where you can.
Let the cards fall as they may.
And then, leave it be. Don't get your hands dirty.
Our actual traitor, Candace, she's starting to sweat a little bit because she didn't get to be part of the decision on the murder in plain sight. So she doesn't know who got murdered. She's really, really, really hoping it was Rob C. Because he said to her, I think that the traitors are doing a murder in plain sight. And if he walks in the door, that's going to be a big problem.
That's going to be, not too good. We'll know where the suspicions will start for this episode very quickly if that were the case. I don't know why they didn't just tell her. They kind of brushed past Candace last night.
They were in the same room.
Why didn't they just whisper, it's Rob. Don't worry about it. We got it. Took care of it. No, none of that. She doesn't really know. She just knows that, yes, they did it.
I mean, maybe it'll be beneficial for her in the long run to experience the anxiety all night, because then she can relate to the faithfuls on that.
It looks like you really don't know who's going to walk in the door.
And she was genuinely shocked.
She was. These faithfuls need to do some more snooping, I think, around the house. Because if you go peeking behind photographs in the kitchen and then you're finding tarot cards with 4 people's names and faces on them from the game, I think that you would think, oh, something's important about this, right?
But if you do that, will people then think that you're a traitor and that you just got caught doing the murder in plain sight? So now you're going to act like you found something?
Right. Well, that could be a play from the traitors too. Instead of doing the murder, you can be a faithful who found something suspicious, and then you earn favor with the faithfuls, because then they are pretty well convinced that you have held on to something, and then this shows that you are indeed quite faithful because you let the murder in plain sight just happen. Or, well, not happen. It didn't play out. You prevented it.
They're still casting for the next season of The Traitors.
I know.
So if you want to go in and break the game,
this is why
you can audition.
They would never cast me based on these episodes. They're like, no.
So we're still waiting for everyone to come in for breakfast, and Donna is there. And everybody's talking about Ron and how they're upset about how everything played out last night and how Ron didn't share this theory with anyone before the roundtable, so everyone was blindsided. And she's like, no, actually, Ron did share the theory about Portia with a couple of people.
He shared it with me. Yeah. Well, that doesn't help the case because everybody came in. Everybody was going to vote for you, Donna. So then you saying, oh, yeah, Ron shared that theory with me. That doesn't help Ron's case at all at this point.
Donna should have said nothing.
Donna should have said nothing.
Because now you're further associating yourself with someone who everybody thinks is a traitor.
Correct.
But that doesn't matter because there's a larger conversation that ends up happening at the table because Michael Rappaport comes in. And he's got a vendetta against Jam Jam. He is convinced that Jam Jam is a traitor. And then Jam Jam is tired of hearing Michael talk.
Most people are at this point.
Yeah, it's only been 2 days.
2 days, 3 days, yeah.
So they're just accusing each other of being traitors. And Michael's starting to get loud about it. He's using 2 hands to drink his water out of his water glass. That was kind of weird.
Did he have a stroke last night? I don't know.
He's struggling.
Yeah. He was really stressed out.
He's just a weird dude.
About the murder, I guess.
Everything he does is weird. I think that's what they're trying to show us.
They have those tiny little glasses of juice. Maybe he should have been holding on to that. So then when he picked up an actual size, full-size glass, he was like, oh, this is a heavy lift now. This is really,
maybe
I'm straining.
Heavy crystal in the castle.
Something, yeah.
Something he's never picked up before.
Did you see those little tiny, tiny bottles of juice that people were carrying around? It was like little shooters.
I think they're like immunity shots.
Something. Oh, man,
because nobody wants to get sick while they're recording.
That's probably a whole other thing, yeah.
Well, we get our answers to who was murdered. It was Rob C. So, Candace.
Sigh of relief.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Because that would have been really, really hard to explain, especially because he made sure to check. Candace, you were the one that started the weird conga line, right? Nobody seems to remember that. Alan comes in and makes the announcement. He throws the terrible photo down on the ground, which honestly, the photos, we always need to talk about this. The wall of photos still not getting better. These must be, I don't know if they just install something on their phones and then it's like, hey, the next time this accidentally goes to the the front-facing camera, just snap a photo, and that's what we're going to use.
I mean, these can't be professional photo shoots.
No, like this has to be beforehand that they just send in, I would assume.
I think they go through all of their social media and find the worst photo of them. Like it's the shittiest selfie. The
angle's always off. It's like their face is skewed in some strange way.
I'm telling you, it's like pictures that they were in with other people and they've cropped all the other people out.
Yeah. Like the lighting's different and then they're trying to match it with everybody else and it just looks bizarre. It's like, can't you just use my passport photo or something? Like I needed my passport to get here anyway.
It's like usually the worst photo that people have.
I would take my passport photo over these photos that they have. Like I would prefer that.
I want them to do paintings. Can we do a portrait?
Yeah, that would be better.
It just feels like it would fit with the castle.
I think that's what they were trying to do initially.
Well, that's what the terrible Photoshop on them is trying to mimic.
Like maybe that's what it's trying to convey, but they're like, I don't know how to do that. There's filters for that now, probably.
Will they get better or worse with Photoshop AI?
It's probably worse, yeah. If you're asking them to do that, it's going to be rough.
Okay, is it a good thing for Candace, though, that Rob C. got murdered? Because he did approach her in front of Tiffany and say, I think that this is going down tonight. And also, I think it's weird that you started the conga line.
And Mark. Well, yeah, because he had confirmed Mark was in the kitchen standing there with Candace when Rob C. was having that entire conversation with her. So none of that comes up as Alan is announcing this. He was very vague about the murder in plain sight, though. He said burned under your noses, I think, or something like that. But it was general enough where the people who were told repeatedly by Rob, I think a murder in plain sight's happening, have not pieced that together or voiced anything about their concerns of perhaps that is the case. That is something that happened.
Okay, I liked this, though. I feel like they've learned from the past, from what they did with Parvati when they made her do the murder in plain sight with the chalice and somebody had a drink out of it. That was too hard and too obvious.
On the nose of like explicitly saying you were murdered in plain sight. And then they gave like a little clue. I think that's because they needed to stir up suspicion in the group. Now they have enough suspicion already for people to go off of because of the secret traitor selection that happened outside. People were already paranoid coming into the game, so they already had plenty to go off of, so now they can be a little bit more vague. If there wasn't a lot of suspicion that was still sticking from that secret traitor selection, maybe they could have been a little bit more descriptive about that. So I think those are the adjustments that happen like on the fly. Mm-hmm. Do we need more suspicion in the house? Do we need more theories? Do we need more paranoia, basically? Well, we can ramp this up then and tell them outright that a murder in plain sight happened last night.
Well, nobody understands.
Nobody clocked it.
No.
Nobody.
So this went about as perfectly for the Traitors as it could have. They got rid of somebody who was a huge threat, and nobody suspects that the Traitors were murdering in plain sight.
I don't get Tiffany's game. And I don't know, why Mark hasn't said anything about the murder in plain sight allegations. I don't know if he just doesn't know what that meant.
I could see him being someone who just doesn't say a lot the whole game. And at the end, you figure out that he's known what's been going on the whole time.
He's been tracking everything. Yeah, like he's going to be one of those faithfuls that surprises you towards the end of the game here. But for Tiffany, she's going like all in on this entire, I wasn't sure if she was the secret traitor yesterday, just from the way that she was interacting with Rob C. when he was alleging the murder in plain sight was happening, where she was kind of keeping him away from the group. I don't know, what the angle was here for her benefit. And then to also not bring any of that up to the group here after Rob C. was very clearly murdered.
That's where I don't know if she's just playing a really bad game or if she's playing two games, where she has a game that she's playing in front of everybody else, and then she has a game that she's playing privately.
Okay. Which that's not usually the way to go, because then you're being deceptive. And then if you're caught in any of that, then you're accused of being a traitor very quickly.
Well, speaking of, they have to go straight to a round table. That's the twist. There's not a mission right away.
No
Instead,
mission,
they
banishment.
have no time to really think about what's going on. It's like you came out of a round table yesterday and you're going right back into a round table again.
Yes.
So Ron's sweating bullets because he's thinking,
oh no,
everybody thinks I'm the traitor because I accidentally got rid of Portia.
He sent that beautiful woman home, as the way that he explained it after the roundtable last night.
He's very much worrying about if he's going to be here at the end of this.
It's understandable. Yeah, like the concern there, especially because he was so closely aligned with Donna. He's been closely aligned with Michael. Those are the top two people on everybody's lists for who the traitors are right now. So he is just being lumped in as part of that other group. I don't understand this faithful theory where they're basically looking at Donna, Michael, and Ron and saying, oh, those are the three traitors who are the only people interacting with each other in a group within this group because they didn't feel like they fit in anywhere else.
Right. They're the outsiders.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but again, in this game, it's a proven fact that if you're an outsider, you attract negative attention.
That was a very Donna Kelsey sort of stat that you just threw out there, Carly.
92% of the time, outsiders get targeted.
There you go. Now it sounds like a Donna Kelsey official stat.
I have to man spread and put my plate between my legs as I'm doing that. I thought Jason Kelsey showed up. I was like, what is happening?
She pulled up with that plate at dinner. And yeah, it was.
That also seems like the most precarious way to position a plate.
Yeah, dangerous. Well, better than Michael Rappaport, who's just been shoveling food into his face, which I think that would be my biggest fear of being on this show, is having cameras, multiple cameras, film me from different angles while eating every single meal.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah. No, the housewives know they're not eating while the cameras are rolling.
No.
Except for Lisa.
Is this diet or regular?
Whatever. That's how I feel. You know, when you go out to eat, they're like, is Pepsi okay? Whatever.
Sure, whatever.
Well, back to Michael. What is Tiffany doing? They run off into the secret cellar that's off of the bar area.
So it's like the little conversation before the round table. They get a couple minutes where you can converse with the people that you trust the most. So Tiffany pulls Michael Rappaport aside and is like, we got to talk strategy. Why are you aligning with this man?
Also, why are you going into the room that the traitors are known to meet in secret?
Sometimes. I mean, it's there. It's a room that's in there. Not a lot of people know about this room.
It's there to be used, but it looks suspicious.
Do you need to be... Well, okay, to be fair, in Tiffany's defense, if you're talking strategy with Michael Rappaport, you need as many walls between you and other people as possible.
That's true.
So she is making the right call here.
Although I don't really think they're talking strategy. She's more yelling at him that he needs to cool it. Because
she's telling him. I think he's kind of giving up his autonomy in the game because he's like, I'm not good at this. You're smart. I trust you. Tell me what to do. So he's just voluntarily becoming a puppet for her. And she's like, all right, like, I'll see if I could use this to my benefit, I guess.
I don't think that's really the way it ends up playing out at the round table, though.
No.
Because he is hell-bent on its jam.
Yeah.
And she's like, I understand that. Sometimes you just have to play along and go with what the rest of the group has to do.
She's trying to teach him.
Thinks, you know?
Yeah, she's trying to teach him exactly the strategy that we were talking about, is where it's like, hey, because that was her last thing that she was able to say. I know, I agree with you. I think Jam as well could be a very real possibility of a traitor. Now, how do you get other people to vote for him? Because then if you're harping
Scream
on this, just, berate people into voting, that's not going to work here. And that's not what this is about. So read the room, get a gauge of the table here, and then kind of go with that. Just chill out, man. So she's trying to give him as much advice as she can.
She's going to have to cut him loose. That's a lost cause.
I don't know. Like, this seems
bad at this game.
Right. But I think that's what people are trying to perceive it as, figuring out who the traitor is. If you align closely with a traitor, that can get you far in the game as a faithful. We don't know who the secret traitor is yet. Still, that's yet to be revealed. That was part of the murder in plain sight. So we don't know who that is yet. Is it Michael? Is it Tiffany?
Right. Because she thinks that she's found a traitor and that she's staying close to him
Allegedly.
to be protected.
Yeah. Or if she's a traitor, you're staying next to a loud faithful because that'll kind of shield you as well. Maybe, potentially. People who think, a lot of other people in the game seem to think that Michael is a traitor. So if you're standing next to him, he gets banished, says he's a faithful. Does that look good for you? Does that look bad for you?
I don't think that this is going to play out very well for her. That's my prediction.
Hitching your wagon to Michael Rappaport, probably not a good idea.
Whenever you're aligned with somebody who is just generally unlikable to the rest of the people in the house, that also is not going to help.
Recipe for disaster.
Right. Meanwhile, Colton's leading the charge against Donna Kelsey.
Again, he's saying, I went into the roundtable yesterday. I was dead set on Donna Kelsey. And then Ron changed my mind because Ron blindsided us. He held all of that information and then didn't tell us. And then we had to make an impulse decision. And that was the distraction that took away from voting out Donna Kelsey right out the gate here.
So the theory that most of the house is going with now is let's vote for Donna. And if Donna is a faithful, then the traitor must be Ron. Otherwise, we're going to catch a traitor.
They're still saying, like, Donna, Ron, Michael. Like, that's their category there. Because then even they were saying, if Donna's a traitor, Ron's a traitor too. So they're still lumping these three outsiders all together. So this is just going to be a massacre, basically, of banishments that's going to happen to the outsider group. Any way you cut it, there's still going to be suspicion, because if there is a traitor, if Donna is a traitor, they're going to say there's probably more in that group because they were all sticking together and protecting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Or if Donna's not a traitor, they're going to say there has to be one in that group, so we have to banish the other two.
Do you ever feel like everyone just decides to continue to pick people off from a single group because it keeps everyone from looking elsewhere? Like, at least they're not looking at me because we have 3 people to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge benefit, of having these larger groups where there is suspicion.
Because it's like not very logical.
There's no way to know.
But are people, right, it's like, is it that they're genuinely convinced that all of them are traitors, or is it just that it's a great distraction to keep me in the game for another 3 nights?
Right, yeah. If we can keep the banishments in an expected path of where that's going.
That's just my hope, that the faithfuls aren't as stupid as they are every single season.
I mean, that's just, that's what always happens, where then people go, I have people in this game that I trust, which you shouldn't. You should never have people that you trust fully in this game. You do have to rely on people at certain times, but you shouldn't trust everybody. There is a difference.
Well, as they're having this conversation, Donna walks in, and she has to have the vibe that it's not going to go very well for her, because
she's hearing
they're
people
whispering.
Yeah, she's hearing people shushing as she's walking in, and she's like, okay, come on, guys.
So now she's going to try to save herself a little bit here. And she does point out that, Rob C. voted for Michael last night, and now he got murdered last night. So maybe we should look at Michael again.
But then people are saying that's too obvious. That's too on the nose.
Well, my other statistic that I've been thinking of is that 92% of the time traitors go for shields, and Michael was very insistent that he needed a shield at the end of the challenge. Why was that? That was weird.
That's a made-up stat, first of all. I was just going to call that out, because that's just her saying a very high percentage, but I don't think she has that tracked out. There's not a stat line that you can go on Traitors.com and see how many times traitors have tried to attempt for a shield.
Well, like, even if there was, why would you say that? Because then it makes it clear that you've studied the show extensively. Like, that would be like Dorinda walking in there and talking about how she read The Art of War so that she could prepare for the roundtable tonight.
Sun Tzu, Lao Tzu, all the zoos, and none of that helped her.
Yeah, that's stuff that you keep on the DL.
Yeah.
So that's as much as she's defended herself before we get to the roundtable. So we walk in there, and Candace is the one who starts. And she turns attention to Ron and points out he blindsided everyone last night. He only shared his theory about Portia with a couple of people. And then it turns out that he misled us in the wrong direction.
Well, to Ron's defense, he was basically saying and explaining here too, I didn't know that the group was at a consensus last night. I didn't know that everybody else had landed on Donna because I wasn't included in those conversations. So I'm sorry that it felt like I brought it up out of nowhere. I thought that the roundtable discussion was where we were going to be presenting these theories as it happened. So
that made me feel bad for him.
Yeah. Oh my God. The way that I felt, my heart broke for Ron so many times this episode because he is just so down and out. He feels bad that he got Portia voted out basically on his testimony pretty much. And she was a faithful. So he's a faithful who's feeling very guilty. Now people are looking at him and they're like, oh, he's doing this whole sad puppy dog act. No, that is legitimately how this man feels. He feels terrible that he sent a faithful home on his accusation.
Also, it's just like mean that nobody's talking to him. Like, that's upsetting me too, that there are people who, except for Michael Rappaport, because like the way he's been speaking to people and arguing and just being combative, that's going to put you on the outs, right? But Donna and Ron just don't really know anyone here and don't really fit into the rest of the group. And so they've become these outsiders that nobody's going out of their way to talk to.
Well, then what's interesting too is then he's basically saying, well, I think it is very sad though that you guys didn't realize like my ability to change people's minds when I speak until you saw it happen. You experienced it. And now it's seen as this bad thing, that it was this nefarious thing that I was doing.
Right. Whereas if you had included me into your group or your alliance, you would have found that beneficial.
Right.
But now it's a bad thing.
But now it's bad because I'm not part of your group. I wasn't on your side. And so now you've decided that you cannot trust me.
It just doesn't really add up to me that people think that a traitor would deceive the group like that right up front.
So openly.
Yeah.
On the first round table.
And we see how it usually plays out with the first person who gets banished. It's usually a misunderstanding or something about their personality that turns everybody off to them and makes them think that they're a traitor.
Or somebody who misspoke or made an ill-timed joke.
Some type of fumble that happens.
It's a goof, a faux pas of some kind.
So the fact that they're going so hard for Ron, like, that doesn't make sense if you've gone back and watched these shows, which they all claim to have done.
Yeah. Studied multiple times, and that, I don't see people doing that on a regular basis. I don't think that that would be a traitor thing. So yeah, I would be trusting Ron more at this point, but you still base it off of, we have a whole roundtable here. Everybody's still going back to their original consensus of last night, which was Donna. So Donna, the spotlight shifts to her.
Because Colton is like, defend yourself, Donna. The floor is yours.
Because the time for you to speak is now, because we were going to vote you out last night, and then we got distracted. So we still haven't heard anything to change our minds.
Donna's defense is that she is really trying to open up and get to talk to people now. She knows that she was really quiet the first day, but she's just fangirling over here. She's not used to being around celebrities of this caliber.
A little suspicious. That's
Taylor Swift's future mother-in-law, who was bragging about, who was it, Elton John?
No, Paul McCartney.
With Paul McCartney.
At the Super Bowl.
is now afraid to approach, like, C-list celebrities.
Didn't she refer to Michael Rappaport as a great actor at one point too?
She did.
So that was another red flag for me.
Yeah. Yeah. She was trying to direct it back to him. Like, you could be a traitor. You're a great actor. Maybe you're using those skills to your benefit.
Disagree, Donna. Disagree. A great actor.
Has he done anything other than been in Friends? He's done a couple other things, right?
Yeah, he's been in some other things.
Okay. Isn't he usually a cop who yells at people?
Most of the time. I think he did a stint on SVU for a little while. Yeah.
Okay, he's definitely a character actor. He's got a type that he plays.
He's got a type.
A couple of people looked at each other like they gave each other side eye when she was talking about fangirling and being afraid to talk to everybody. So that story really wasn't adding up. I don't know why she didn't run with, I'm the oldest person here. I'm 74. It's kind of hard for me to relate to the rest of you. I'm not on a TV show.
Yeah. She was othered in this way already, like just by joining the game,
I think that was not very smart to go with the direction of I'm just afraid to approach you guys versus I don't really know how much I have in common and I haven't really found where I fit with the group.
I live a very different life than the rest of you.
Get Lisa Barlow in here next season.
I do big things, and so it's hard for me to relate.
I would love to see how she upsets everyone at the round table with things that she says.
It would be atrocious.
Oh, come on. That's my greatest wish. My greatest wish. I need the casting director to know that. All right. Then Candace kind of piles on and she's like, I don't know, Donna. I think you'd make a great traitor, which is going to be a little unfortunate that Candace spoke up here.
Yeah.
Because we still don't know who the secret traitor is.
Right.
So she's taking a shot in the dark here, going after Donna because everybody else is.
Donna is able to shift a little bit towards the end of the round table here because she took the brunt of the questioning because it was like an opening notice spot for Ron that everybody kind of addressed, hey, you really confused us last night, and then shifted over to Donna Kelsey where they pretty much grilled her for the next several minutes, and then she was able to shift the attention over to all you had to say was Michael Rappaport's name a couple times.
I was going to say, this was the smartest thing she did.
And then he's going to jump in. So yeah, if you pull him into the conversation, he's going to be able to throw things off the rails pretty quick here, which he immediately does.
So she's pointing out the fact that he's loud. She thinks he does this to distract everyone.
Because basically they were asking, well, who do you think is a traitor in the game?
Michael.
And so she throws to Michael.
And then he starts yelling about, I'm the best looking, smartest, dopest faithful here.
Most smartest. Get a picture of that.
And if you banish me, I'm going to stand up there and that's what I'm going to say. I'm the best looking, smartest, dopest faithful. Which, you know what? They love to hear someone say that they're faithful. They were rolling their eyes when he said he was the best looking and that he was the smartest.
Dorinda doubled over. She like leaned into his camera frame because she was like head to the table laughing through his monologue here where he's just over the top.
It was a more passionate defense than Donna gave for herself.
Honestly, well, so Donna was calm, cool, and collected throughout
Michael was not.
Michael was not.
No.
He rarely is. We don't expect him to be. Because then also he shifts immediately to Jam Jam is a traitor.
Jam Jam asks him, well, Michael, who do you think's a traitor? Which is great because then that puts you in the power position, right? Where
yes.
He's going to turn to you and say, I think you're the traitor.
Why? Because I asked you who you think the traitors are? So
yes,
I think Jam Jam knew.
That's why he did that.
I think Jam Jam knew to bring it up because he said, who do you think is a traitor? Because you haven't brought it up to me. And so then Michael has to say, well, it's because I think it's you. And then when Colton starts questioning Michael's theory here about Jam Jam, Michael then threatens, maybe I'll start saying your name. And Colton's like, that's literally what traitors do, is you accuse people who accuse you. I'm not accusing you. I'm asking you. I'm questioning what is your logic and reasoning for reaching that conclusion that you've arrived at.
Yeah. He has nowhere to go from here. So now he just breaks out into song.
He's just rambling on.
He's like, if you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands. And he keeps
singing it to Jam Jam.
And the whole table is like appalled. For some reason, this really upset them.
He did the whole number,
He's taunting Jam Jam. And Alan just lets him go.
He lets him finish the song. Yeah. And then he's like, okay, it's time to vote now.
Shh, enough.
Okay.
I love how at one point in this episode, Michael was talking about how he's a trash talker. That you know,
that was at breakfast.
You either had to be good at fighting.
Growing up in New York, you had to be a good fighter, you had to be good at basketball, or you had to be a crap trash talker.
And he's saying he's the crap trash talker.
Right. But
I'm like, the best you had was if you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands.
Well, and like to say that you're a crap trash talker, that's too many adjectives. Because are you saying that you're crap? Like you're crap at trash talking?
Trash talker.
Yeah, you are crap at trash talking. Or are you a crap talker or a trash talker? Because if you're a crap trash talker, then that means that you're bad at trash talking, right? Wouldn't that mean that?
I don't think he can follow a lot of the things that
I
he's
think
saying.
he just says stuff.
Yeah,
He's just,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
stream of consciousness, and he just keeps going with it. And it's worked for most of his life, and so he just keeps doing it.
Now it's time to vote. I was hoping that the group would get rid of Michael because
Well, yes, that would have been great for our bracket, too.
it would have been good for our bracket. Also, like, I kind of am getting tired of
Obviously.
the stuff at the Roundtable.
Yes. The antics.
And I'm not even there.
Correct. Yeah, we don't have to hear it at full volume either in the room.
But unfortunately, it's just person after person voting for Donna.
It's all Donna. It's a landslide Donna vote, which was terrible for our bracket. She was very high up on the list.
Yeah. The only other votes were Donna voting for Michael and then Michael voting for Jam Jam. Which, again, he did not listen to Tiffany's advice from earlier, which was to just go with the majority.
The group.
And that he should have voted for Donna.
Yeah.
But instead, he stuck to what he brought up at the table, which is that it's Jam Jam.
Our job is to find traitors. Okay, well, your job is to vote out traitors and have enough people who agree with you and reach that consensus together. But he's not a team player, and so that's going to bite him in the ass at some point. But however, we have Donna, who's going up to the Circle of Truth to make her announcement here, because we don't know, is she a traitor? Is she a faithful? She has to make that announcement here before she leaves.
She almost leaves before she tells us.
She almost forgot, yeah.
And then she reveals they got themselves a traitor. This is the first traitor they've gotten out of the game.
So she's the secret traitor. That's not the reveal that we were hoping for, though, as part of the deal with the murder in plain sight last night.
No. I'm guessing production was very upset about this outcome.
This was very unfortunate. Yeah. That
we didn't get to see the secret traitor play out.
No, there was no reveal for that. So we don't know how that would coincide with what the rest of the gameplay was going to be.
Okay, I am feeling kind of good that I was suspicious of Donna at the very beginning.
If you go back to our episode 0 cast overview, we suspected that Donna Kelsey outed herself as a traitor just by talking about her experience, about how many stairs there were, and walking around Scotland at night was so beautiful. And we were like, so she's a traitor.
Yeah, she said this in an interview when they were starting to promote the season.
Yeah. So we clocked that early. I thought she was going to be a traitor, so I had her at the top of our list in Bracketology, but it turns out she was the secret traitor, which she is the worst person to be the secret traitor. Like, are you kidding me?
Why not make Lisa Rinna the secret traitor?
Yes.
Right?
One of the housewives. Or
somebody who has a group. That they have an alliance. They have other people who are already looking out for them.
Rob R. would have been a perfect secret traitor out the gate.
You can't choose somebody who is already isolated in the game.
Yes.
Which is what Donna came in as.
That's the biggest threat.
And she didn't even have time to establish relationships with other people.
No.
And then I think the big mistake was that when she became the secret traitor, she closed up even more.
She got nervous. She didn't want to divulge too much.
She didn't know who to talk to.
She didn't know who to trust.
And now it's starting to make more sense why she wasn't throwing any names out, because she's afraid that she's going to name a traitor because she doesn't know who the other traitors are yet.
Which at that point, you are on your own. Mm-hmm. So you just need to play the game how you're going to play the game, talk shop with whoever you need to. I think she was pretty certain that based on Michael's interactions here, he's a faithful, that based on Ron's interactions, he's a faithful. So I think her assessment was the people that she was grouping with were definitely faithfuls. And so that was who she was going to try and stick with. But that just makes you a target because you're not part of a larger group. You're not protected by a herd.
I think that they chose her as a secret traitor because they thought this would be like a fan favorite kind of thing.
Right.
It'd be this great reveal that the whole time it was Donna and the Swifties would go wild. And instead, this is just like a huge disappointment that we didn't even get to see. I mean, we saw like nothing.
I think it would have been more fun to have her be one of the selected traitors. That would have got people very excited about this.
Yeah, and she needed advice, I think.
I don't think she was ready to go into this alone. And then that's even what the traitors were saying too, because they all voted her out as well because they were going with the group. And it was like, oh man, if we had known earlier, we could have protected her or like deflected or covered for her something. We would have been able to help her along the way. And it's like, yes, that was the problem. She didn't have any support at all.
Rob is very disappointed.
Yeah, because he was going to shoot his shot.
He didn't even get his opportunity.
He didn't even get to pop the shirt off.
She's gone already.
Damn.
Missed opportunity. They were going to have some one-on-one time in the turret together. And
maybe.
Now she's gone.
What a shame.
All right, well, let's move on to the mission.
Well, yeah, Alan comes in after the round table. Everybody's flying high on catching a traitor here. And has to announce to everybody, hey, for the next challenge, you need to pair up. And you have to pair up with somebody who you trust with your life. So let's just leave it at that. Make your decisions accordingly. Also, you might notice that you're at an odd number of players right now. So somebody's not going to have a partner. So pair up quick and pair up now. So everybody starts grabbing partners.
I hate these kind of things because I'm going to be the person who's alone.
No, not if I'm there.
Okay. Well, that's nice of you. But if you weren't there, I'm gonna end up alone.
No.
Because I'm not aggressive enough to be like, let's be partners. Like the way Dorinda did it, where Dorinda just walked up to Lisa and was like, we're together.
To be fair, Dorinda walked up to Colton first and she was like, hey, we're going to be together. And he's like, oh, sorry, Caroline already claimed me. I got like dibs me. And then he was trying to leave it to them.
Clearly worried that it was going to be a physical challenge. And so they were trying to team up with somebody who they thought was going to be better at it than them.
So then the warning became, well, you guys better pair up with somebody, because Dorinda was still wandering around trying to fight for Colton and debate with Caroline on why she should be paired with Colton instead. And then it's like, you're going to run out of partners. You're going to be left as the odd one out here. So hurry up and go. And so Dorinda just runs into the bathroom and tells Lisa Rinna, we're going to partner up for this. Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah. Luckily Lisa was in there like doing a number 2 or something while everybody else
there was plenty of time.
Everyone else was pairing up.
The saddest shot of this entire thing was because then people are talking about how they don't want to be the last one. They don't want to be the odd one out. They don't want to be left alone. Cut to Ron
wandering the hallway alone.
Ron walking down the hallway, leaving
so
the round
sad?
Table completely alone. And I was
the
like,
loneliest shot.
Oh my God. The juxtaposition of that. Oh my God. It hurt my heart to see Ron, because then he was down in the kitchen and basically realizing, I'm the person that nobody trusts in the game right now. So like, I'm not going to have a partner. And then even Michael Rappaport was feeling bad. He's like, do you want to switch? Tiffany, do you want to, go with Ron or whatever? And it was like, no, it's fine. So Ron's just kind of punishing himself as a response to, yeah, it was just a bad call on the first night. I'm the reason why Portia's out of the game. So he's still beating himself up over this.
So the Traitors have paired up with somebody each. We have Lisa and Dorinda. We already said that.
Yeah.
And then Rob and Mara.
Of course. Yeah. The Love Island pairing.
And Candace and Tara.
Which is interesting, right? Because we're finding out that Candace and Tara, wouldn't have guessed this, there's a friendship that's forming here. But it's mostly because Candace needs the curling iron, I think. So
curling wand.
Curling wand from Tara, because hers broke. So yeah, she's going to be keeping Tara in the game as long as possible.
This is also a utilitarian need as well.
Right. Yeah. It serves multiple purposes, this alliance.
Okay. Tara seems to be playing a much better game than we thought she was going to.
She has a lot
of friends.
She's sprinkled everywhere. She's getting along with everyone. And I think that this is a really good play for Candace, because even though Tara and Johnny are trying to pretend like they're not friends here, or like they don't have an alliance that's formed, that by befriending Tara, you also get Johnny as a friend too.
Yes.
Like that's a really good play.
And Johnny is off making his own friends.
Yes.
So then you'll, by proxy, hopefully get everybody that's with Johnny. So maybe you'll get a voting block at some point.
At some point. This could be a merger of some kind.
The Traitors need as you get closer to the end.
The Traitors do. And then also, if you are the traitor with the most faithful friends, that works in your favor in the later game too, because you can get people to vote out some of the other traitors, and then that increases your pot prize at the end there. I don't like how much Johnny Weir's looking like Marilyn Manson. That's what keeps freaking me out too when we cut to him.
Yeah, I think he needs some iron.
I love his sound clips though.
Oh, they're great.
The sound bites are so good. The commentary, just keep feeding me that. Watching him dunk into the lock, too.
Just send him on missions.
The missions are, well, we find out there are some missions Johnny is not really suited for any mission, I suppose.
No, he's great to watch. Just keep the camera on him the whole time.
Because in the first one, he dunked into,
he fell
the water. Off the dock. He completely submerged into the lock.
Yeah. Tara had to rope him back in.
Scoop him out. And then in the second mission? Oh, he was complaining because he was like pushing the Bran throne around. He's like, I'm not a horse. But that's what they have me doing here.
Because he couldn't swim in the first challenge.
He's afraid of water, so he fell in the water more than anybody in the first mission. And then, they're having him traipse around pushing a throne like a horse, and so he didn't like that either. He doesn't know what to expect for this one. Nobody does. Yeah. But he's not doing so well so far.
All right, and then Tiffany pairs up with Michael. What does that say to the rest of the group? That you were supposed to pick someone that you trust with your life, and she's picked Michael Rappaport.
Again, I don't really understand her theory here. So unless she's absolutely convinced that he's a traitor?
That's what she's saying.
I think that seems to be her play right now, is where she's saying, keep your enemies closer. She's pretty convinced that Michael is a traitor, and she wants to befriend him so that way the traitors don't murder her.
Instead, there's literally no benefit for her to be doing this. Like, that's the actual reality of it.
Unfortunately, now we know they're both faithfuls. Yeah. So this does not look good. This is not going to read well with the group.
When they get there, they're told that one of the two people needs to get into this cage and that they're going to remain there until the end of the mission. The other person is going to go out into this field and collect skulls.
Into the swamp. Yeah, into the bog.
Thank you for the correct Scottish verbiage.
Yeah.
And they're going to retrieve 10 skulls and bring them back, and they have to stack them on top of each other. And once
then the cage opens.
Yes, once they're fully successfully stacked, your partner can get out of their cage, and that means that they are not up for murder. So whoever is left at the end of this game inside of a cage is going to be on the short list to be murdered tonight.
So that means that Ron didn't have a partner, so he has to get into the cage. He's already shortlisted for murder. So pros and cons there. He just gets to chill in the cage for the rest. There's no drama or anticipation from him. He already knows he's up for murder now. So he's just kind of chilling, lounging, taking it easy, kicking back.
I do think that he was relieved that there was nothing that he had to actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just now you're along for the ride.
Because it was kind of scary going into something, and it's like, I don't know, is this going to be like a really hard physical challenge? Is it going to be something terrifying I'm going to have to do on my own? It's going to be like impossible for me to do it alone. And instead he just had to sit there and wait and know the whole time that he was up for murder, which why would he get murdered when everybody thinks he's a traitor?
Right.
So
I wouldn't be sweating too bad in that circumstance, I guess. Some of the reasoning for people who got into the cage was a little bit off, because I think that was, again, Michael Rappaport is putting his entire autonomy into Tiffany's hands, where he's like, I trust you. If you want me to get in the cage, I'll get in the cage. If you want to get in the cage, I'll stay out here and do the mission. And she was like, get your ass in the cage. I don't want to be up for murder. So go. Yeah, you go.
That's fine. You get in there.
Yeah.
Which again, she's thinking, oh, he's a traitor. So of course he'll get in the cage
he's not going
to get murdered.
Yeah. Plus, if he's asking me, do I want to be in the cage, or should he go into the cage? It looks worse for him if he volunteers to be in the cage. They don't know that he volunteered to be in the cage, but you could say that.
We do have two traitors who decide to go in.
Right. Candace is in the cage and Lisa is in the cage. And Lisa is paired with Dorinda, so that could have gone like 50-50, I guess. Dorinda was like, please keep me away from murder. I want to stay out of the cage, if that's okay.
The mission starts, and right away, Colton's the first one back with 10 skulls. They have 10 minutes to do this, right?
Very quick. Yeah, 10 minutes to retrieve and stack. So people are out running around, and then everybody's running around for the same skulls in the same area. So it's basically grab 10 and then get back and start stacking. because you're not going to get that on the first try, probably. So you need to have a couple of attempts here to get these skulls in place.
Caroline's sitting inside the cage watching Colton stack these skulls because first it seems like we're off to a great start. Right?
2 minutes?
She's
3
got
minutes?
Nothing to worry about.
Most people are back in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, or up to like 3 minutes. The only person who's still out in the wild right now is Johnny Weir.
Poor Johnny.
What the hell is going on with Johnny? Still looking for skulls.
Okay,
Everyone else is back and stacking.
I don't know what happened. Either production purposely did not put enough skulls out there so that somebody wouldn't be able to find all of them, or people were taking more than 10.
I don't know why you would take more than 10.
There's a lot to carry.
There's a lot to carry. It's already hard enough to carry that many unless you were trying to sabotage other people then. But like, why would you do that? Because you don't know who you're taking them away from.
And nobody ever pointed out that somebody took more than they were supposed to. So
was it just there was an intern that was supposed to put out 50 and they only put out 48? Or I don't know what the deal was. But okay, so Colton's back. He's stacking. He has the most time to stack and he's got shaky hands.
He's not good at this.
He's not. It's not looking good.
This was not the challenge for him.
Well, and plus people are trying to figure out there's like multiple stacks that are happening now. Are you stacking and twisting as part of the stack?
Right,
How are you stacking?
There's a lot of different, because these skulls are like what, like little, like they look like little ram skulls.
Yeah, like little
or something.
Yeah,
it's probably some type of Scottish animal.
Probably like a sheep of some kind.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about.
I don't really recognize
Carly
animals by
facts.
the skull. Yeah, I don't recognize by the skull.
But everybody's got a different approach to the way that they're stacking. He tried a lot of different ways, and none of them were working out.
None of them were working out because the issue was not the stacking. The issue was his shaky, trembling hands.
He kept getting to like one of the last ones, and then the whole pile would just fall over.
It was like 8 or 9. He kept getting to that window, and then everything would fall down.
A moment for Monet's stack.
Monet's stack was gorgeous, beautiful.
How did this happen? The way that they were stacked into each other so that there was literally no way for it to fall over.
Honestly,
it was art.
That's the best way to do it.
I feel like it was something that Bronwyn Newport would put in her house.
That's the most stable way to stack these, though, because then each skull has every single point. You create a uniform, singular line of stability down the stack. So that was the better way to go, because people were trying to flip and twist back and forth, but then they kind of start sliding off each other at certain points. So this was the way to lock that in and get it dialed in. I think Monet's was still standing when they were leaving afterwards, too, because some people, it was like they took their hands off it.
It
counted,
tumbled.
It released the cage, and then it tipped over. And so then it was just like, okay, you barely made that. But
Lisa's given up all hope because she's like, poor Dorinda.
Lisa sees Dorinda trying to stack these, and she's like, yeah, I'm definitely stuck in this cage. Like, I'm not, there's no doubts about it. I'm glad I'm a traitor because I would have been up for murder for sure. Yes, definitely.
So at the end of this, Ron, Kristen, Caroline, Eric, and Lisa are still stuck in the cages.
Because Eric never even saw Johnny again. Johnny ran off.
They ended the mission, and somebody had to tell Johnny, you need to come back to where everybody else is because we're done.
And then Alan's just letting him know, oh, the mission's over and 5 people were released. Way to go, Johnny. Glad you could be a participant for this. Is this Johnny's strategy to be a useless faithful? Because there are a lot of useless faithfuls who go very far in this game.
Maybe he's trying to look like less of a threat.
But doesn't that make you look like a traitor, too, that you have somebody in a cage who would be up for murder and you don't want them to get released from the cage? Doesn't that make suspicion arise?
Yeah, I don't know. Eric was like, he's an athlete.
Olympic athlete.
How did he not get 10 of them to bring back
he didn't
here?
Find 10 skulls in 10 minutes? He's just like kicking logs around. I was like, how much of this did they cut together? I tried to count how many were in his hands. I think he only had like 7 or 8. So he was still looking for like 2 or 3 skulls at one point. It took him 10 minutes to find 10 skulls. That's not good.
Everyone else is just faster, I guess. I'm telling you, they didn't put enough out there.
I swear to God, they didn't put enough out there.
Because there was never a shot of like, oh, here are the other ones that he's looking for.
Well,
and he's
if
just
I
not
was
finding
Eric,
them.
I know if I was Eric, I'd be like, can I go walk around over there to see? Because it's like, if I go over there and I spot 3 or 4 right off the bat, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Yeah, or convinced that he was purposely
Yes.
not bringing them all back.
Yeah, like that he's at fault then.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't seem to have any hard feelings against Johnny for it.
No. But, and like, they don't get to go walk the course or anything because now they're still locked in the cages. Everybody else is going back to the castle. And then the people who are up for murder have to stay in the cages. And then later tonight, they're all going to be tied individually to a tree and potentially murdered face to face by the traitors.
Everyone else who's back at the castle after this is starting to talk again about what they're thinking. And Tiffany throws out that she's suspicious of Ron, Michael, and Jam Jam. And now that's catching the attention of some of the people who are sitting there with her.
Colton in particular.
Who thinks that he is really, really good at this because he caught Mama Kelsey.
He's the traitor hunter now, and he has dubbed himself, this is like Peter Pals 2.0, and he is so good at this game. He's also falling victim to the classic thing because we've seen the trope, the repeated instance of like Ron as a faithful who was very confident in someone who was a traitor who ended up being a faithful who was banished. And then he feels bad. So he kind of clams up and quiets down on his theories. Colton is the opposite, where he is a faithful who was like, I had an initial gut reaction and that person was a traitor. So here are the next 2 to 3 people who are on my traitor list. And they're all the most faithful people. But he's convinced now that these people are traitors because he's right 100% of the time.
So the reason that he's thinking it's Tiffany now is the first 2 people murdered were gamers. And now Tiffany is floating Jam Jam's name. And he's a gamer. So is she just trying to eliminate all of the other, like, most immediate threats? People who she sees as, you know, the best competitors here.
So the problem, too, is that Tiffany's falling into this territory where she's pitching her theory of why she thinks Jam Jam is a traitor definitively. But then as Colton is listening, he's also applying all of her logic to her.
Right.
Because she is a gamer as well. So that's not good because your own theory is becoming evidence to be used against you, basically.
Well, and then also you're saying, I think Michael's a traitor, but also I'm pairing up with him in challenges and I'm, you know, running around the castle having private conversations with him.
I'm building trust with him.
That's all adding up to not look very good.
Yeah. So Colton's very suspicious of Tiffany now. That's going to be his next target.
Also, she had this whole conversation while sitting next to an actual traitor because Rob was there.
Yep. Silent, though. He didn't say much.
No,
he didn't say anything.
Which is good because now he has this intel to bring back to the rest of the group and maybe they can do something to make Tiffany look more suspicious.
To build into that theory. Yeah.
Yeah. Which now we get to the face-to-face murder. They do go to the turret first.
The traitors meet up in the turret. Well, at first it's just Candace and Rob. See, I almost did it. I almost called him Ron. His name's Rob.
I know.
This is Rob. We only have one Rob now, but it's Rob Ron, and I still have to clock that in real time in my head. So Rob and Candace meet up in the turret. They give each other a hug and a high five because they're doing great. They accidentally banished the secret traitor, but they had to go with the group. And honestly, it kind of worked out in their favor anyway.
And Candace was very happy with the decision that Lisa and Rob made to get rid of Rob C.
The murder in plain sight worked flawlessly, covered their tracks, went completely undetected. So that was all good too.
Can I tell you how much I'm enjoying watching the traitors work together this season after coming off of having them all turn on each other immediately?
Yes, I could not stand that last season when the traitors were so cutthroat with each other right out the gate. So I think this is way better. This is why housewives usually make better traitors, because they know when to work as a group and to play nice. And then they know when to turn on people and throw people under the bus.
Yes.
So like they're the best traitors for that.
I do think that a lot of the decision making around who they choose to be the traitors this time is in part because that was a disaster.
Oh, it was so bad.
And they needed to find people who were going to be able to work collectively and not just be out for themselves.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's paying off. The funny part here is that Lisa shows up way late, though, because remember, she was locked out in one of the cages out in the forest. So she had a bit of a longer walk to the turret tonight, but she does get there eventually. And then, yes, it's all celebratory of how great of a job they're all doing here so far.
But now they have another decision to make. And so they talk through everybody who's up for murder. Obviously, Lisa doesn't count. So they have Ron, but Ron doesn't really make any sense at this point, which could be good for them. Maybe it could be confusing, or is it dumb to get rid of him because he's pretty much going to be up for banishment pretty soon?
Personally, I would say that would be a waste of a murder, because you want to keep people in the game who have suspicion, because that's going to make the faithful keep attention on them or keep an eye on them while they're in the game.
I mean, I'm thinking about Rob sitting there during that conversation with Tiffany. Could you play this as Tiffany must be a traitor and she murdered Ron to take suspicion off of her group?
Meaning like to steer away from Michael in particular, or...
Right, her. Well, so she, basically everybody's convinced that Ron and Michael are the two other traitors.
Yeah, because
that
it was
they got
Ron, Michael, Donna. Yeah.
Yeah. And Colton is now thinking that maybe Tiffany's the other traitor.
Right.
Although he didn't say that out loud
He
yet.
hasn't said it. Yeah, verbalized that. It seems like he's going too soon, but not yet. I mean, I think just from a traitor standpoint, though, murdering Ron is a waste of a murder, because if you want the faithful to figure out that he is faithful, because that would confirm that Ron was faithful then, if you murder him.
Yeah.
If you want them to find out if he's faithful, have them waste a banishment to find out.
I agree. And I think he's valuable to keep around because at this point, he's kind of useless in the game in that nobody's going to be persuaded by him. So if he throws your name out, at least for a while, until he's able to like gain some trust back with everybody, they're not going to listen to him.
He's not a threat anymore, and then he's just a distraction at this point. So the longer you can keep him in the game, the better.
Caroline, we could sacrifice a housewife. This is the direction that I think I would go, because we have two housewives who are traitors, and somehow nobody has said yet that they think a housewife is a traitor.
Well, I mean, aside from Michael Rappaport the first day, but he says a lot of things. So that was already like 10 theories ago. I don't even know if people remember that anymore. But
it's hard to keep up.
That's what Candace and Lisa both seemed pretty excited about, that prospect, because it would take some suspicion off of them. Because, yes, they've had two murders and neither one of them have been a housewife yet. So that does look a little bit suspicious.
Also, there's no gamer in this group, so they can't keep playing into that.
Well, yeah, and that would have been bad, though, too, to go with another gamer. It feels like then you're really targeting at that point.
Right, and it's like, well, who's targeting all the gamers?
Yes. It seems like...
I would think the housewives.
I would assume housewives, because that's the next biggest block that's next to that.
They also have Eric, but they feel like Eric would be another random one.
Random, yes. He's not much of a threat. He seems to be just kind of going along with the group, which those are the faithfuls that you want to keep at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that Eric is really at risk of murder tonight.
Well, the last person they have to pick from is Kristen.
And Kristen's in kind of that same boat. They're trying to say that she's pretty smart, though. She picks up on this stuff. I saw her butter and toast, though, in the last episode. Sketchy, okay? With the huge bread knife. Don't do that. I'm starting to doubt if she's even a chef, if we're being honest, okay?
They do see her as a threat, so she could potentially be another choice.
I think
it's down to her and Caroline.
I think she's probably a viable option. I don't think that Ron or Eric would be good choices. So I think it is down between Kristen and Caroline.
They have to head out to the woods because each of them are tied and blindfolded to a tree.
It's the same tree, but they're doing this individually at different times.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
You didn't realize that was the same tree?
Thought they were different trees.
No, this is the same tree that the traitors keep coming to, and it's a different faithful every time who's tied to the tree with an executioner standing by, of course.
So they're already thinking, okay, we got to pick up clues. Maybe somebody will sneeze. They'll breathe weird. They'll mumble something.
Well, the traitors
There'll
are
be a
hyper
clue.
aware of that too. Yeah, they're like, we have to remain very, very quiet, very silent here. Don't give anything away. But it is funny because you see the blindfolded faithfuls who are tied to the tree. They like hear something rustling, and it's like, hello? Is that
Eric,
is that you?
Eric was very funny.
Eric was very responsive.
Are you there?
Is that you? Are you there?
So they get to plead their case. And Eric starts, and he's basically saying, I have skills that are very valuable and can help you. So I'm worth keeping. Then Kristen is next, and she refuses to beg them for anything. She's like, you already made up your mind before you ever came here.
Honestly, that would be my exact pitch, too. If I was a faithful tied to the tree for murder at this point, I would be like,
She's
you
like,
guys already know.
I understand how we produce a television show.
Yeah, so just, you already made your decision. Just tell me yes or no so I can get untied now.
Which is fine, but it was kind of boring because I did like seeing some of the things everyone else said. Caroline's trying to convince them, I'm the least of your problems. I'm not a threat to you. Why would you waste a murder on me?
To an extent, but it's not a waste. Little does
Right.
Caroline know, there's actually some value in murdering you.
Yeah, there's something strategic behind it. It's not
Yeah.
just whether or not you're a threat to each of the traitors, which also you don't even know who they are. So.
And to be, because then for her to be like, oh, I have no idea who you guys are, so don't murder me. Like, that's the reason? No. Okay.
And then we get to Ron.
Oh, Ron.
And Ron just chooses to antagonize them. I wonder if he was trying to get them to laugh.
Possibly. Yeah. Like to have some sort of reaction from
Yeah.
them so he could hear something.
Because it was hilarious.
This was great. Oh, no, this was a performance
Yes.
that we saw. Yeah. Well, even like leading up to it, when they were just doing the interim cutaways of like them being dragged out to the tree to be tied up, Ron's telling the executioner, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. He's like pleading for his life with the executioner, who's just, these are extra shots that they usually cut to while the traitors are in the turret or talking their strategy and stuff. But they actually kept the audio of that because he's like pleading for his life to these other actors.
I think that Ron sees the end is near. And so he's auditioning for something else
He's
entirely
trying
already.
he's trying to get another spot on another show
Yeah.
if possible.
Also, maybe they'll laugh and that'll give something away.
Yeah.
But he starts screaming at them, show me your faces. Which if they do, that means that he's been murdered.
Yes.
So
He's taunting them
He's
in some
taunting
ways
them.
too.
I kind of think he's choosing his own fate here.
Yes.
That at this point, it's worse to be stuck in this castle, completely alienated from everyone else, and knowing that it's just going to be, another couple hours until you go to a round table and everybody votes you out. So he'd rather just be murdered by the traitors.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't get murdered, he could possibly spin that as, well, obviously the traitors wanted to keep me in the game
Because you're just going to banish me.
because you're going to banish me.
And you're going to waste a whole day
if you want to
voting
do
for
that,
me,
yeah.
and you'll be back here again still looking for them.
Right. So
So-
that is probably what the defense is going to be. I'm still going to keep him at the bottom of our bracketology list, though, because technically he could be murdered, and then he's also a very high percentage chance of being banished as well. So
Yeah.
still a flight risk. I don't know how Michael Rappaport's still here. We got 0 points for him because he was at the bottom of our list for the first week.
I feel like there was stuff about Donna that they didn't show us because she was the secret traitor and they didn't want us to know that. But she had to be playing a really bad game for everyone to catch on immediately to the fact that it was her. And for Michael to be antagonizing everyone else and still not get voted for.
I think the problem was with Donna, she didn't network quickly enough. She wasn't in the groups or didn't have an in all of the groups. She needed to befriend Tara. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it came down to, because then the
They felt like she
suspicion.
was standoffish, which made her a traitor.
Plus, that is interesting to see the faithful dynamic. Tara was suspicious of Donna immediately at the secret traitor selection.
Maybe
And
Tara's
Michael-
better at this game than we
And
think.
Michael Rappaport. So I think those were her first two right out the gate. So if she has the most friends and she's talking amongst most people in the most groups, that goes pretty far. So I think the reason why was Donna got insular. She got comfortable with the two people that she would hang out with, Michael and Ron, and that was it. So she didn't even know that her name was circulating amongst so many other people because all of those groups were considering Donna at that point. If she had known that, maybe you could walk that back. Maybe you could deflect. Maybe you could reassure some people, win them over, and then they don't see you as a threat as much. They can start focusing on somebody else, thinking about something else.
I wonder what twist they're going to have for us, since the Secret Traitor was supposed to be a way bigger part of the game, and that just fizzled out.
Well, I'm excited to watch the UK version then, because hopefully their Secret Traitor lasts a little bit longer than Donna did. So then we can see how it was kind of intended to play out potentially.
Yeah.
That could be interesting there.
Well, why don't you give us a little bracketology update?
Well, we have our top 10. We have a couple of ties throughout the top 10 because there's just a lot of scores that ended up being the same for the first week there. So our leaderboard right now as it stands is 8478 Ice, Bookworm 0824, NM Congus, Crix, something CRYKS.
Is bracketology like giving people random usernames?
No, I think
Or
these are
you
usernames.
guys are
these are
picking
selected.
these?
Yeah. We've got Soggy.
Can you guys make your name something that we can read?
No, that you don't need to do that. It makes it more interesting by doing it this way. We got Catturn 87, Bunna, Killinassie, and then my favorite team who I'm rooting for, Alan Cummings Lala.
Ah.
So they're in the
There
top
we
10.
go.
There you go.
You know, where'd Robin's Dolly go?
And Hellabreds. Robin's Dolly is not in the running here for the top 10 spot, unfortunately. But that's where we're standing for this week. Good job. Don't forget to set your brackets. There was, for a lot of the people in the top 10 right now, a lot of us had Donna very, very high on the list. So it could be anybody's game. You could have a good week and catch up pretty quick.
Also, you got to be thinking a little bit ahead again because they're dropping episodes 4 and 5 together.
Right. So it's going to be tricky to tell who's going to be in the running there of the threats, the considerations for who's going to be there. It's another 2-episode drop. And then I think it's single episodes after that.
Yeah. Until we get to the
reunion.
finale and the reunion.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back with that next week. And in the meantime, if you're looking for something else to listen to, we're also recapping Suddenly Amish.
The wild ride.
I'm obsessed.
It's going to be good.
I'm very excited to see where this journey takes us.
The first episode is indicator enough that, this is going to be very, very enjoyable.
So that airs Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on TLC, and our recaps are going to be dropping Wednesday mornings here on Surviving Reality.
And just a reminder, too, if you're enjoying the recaps, Traitors, Suddenly Amish, make sure you leave us a written review, particularly on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. Spotify, YouTube. Can you review things on YouTube? Probably not. Comment, like, subscribe, those types of things. All the interaction, all the engagement. It really helps the podcast. It gets us in front of other people, and it helps us build our listeners. So even if you mention us in a group where you're talking about Traitors, that helps too.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.